Welcome to this circling approach tutorial for Airbus. Let's start by setting up the MCDU. On the main flight plan, select the runway and instrument approach you will be using first. Check out the approach chart to find the circling minima and any other instructions. In this case, the circling maneuver must be performed to the south of the field. Use the secondary flight plan to set up the landing runway, opposite to the approach runway. You may use the top hat flow to set up the entire MCDU for the approach. On the main performance page, set the weather information and the circling minima, 720 feet on this case. In case of a missed approach, the procedure to be used will usually be the one on the instrument approach chart, even after the secondary flight plan has been activated. Creating some fixes might be helpful, as the procedure won't be activated by the MCDU in that case. In some airports, a different procedure can be planned with ATC in advance. Calculate the track you will need to turn to at the circling altitude. It will be 45 degrees off the final approach track, in this case 237 degrees. Make sure to activate the approach phase as you get closer to the approach. In this case, the instrument approach is an ILS. Just perform it as usual. Check the F-speed on your performance page and set it as a speed constraint at the final approach fix. Before beginning the descent on the instrument approach, you must configure the aircraft into flap 3 and gear down. Full flap will be selected later on as you make your final turn into the runway. This is known as an early stabilized approach. It's very important to always stay ahead of the aircraft. Visualize what the next steps are and be ready. As you reach the minimum descent altitude, press the vertical speed knob to level off at the circling altitude. Then, select the track you calculated before to offset from the runway. If you don't visual contact with the runway, perform a go-around. Once the wings are leveled, set a 30-second timer. Take wind into account to increase or decrease this time in order to achieve proper separation. Once the time is up, turn towards the runway track to fly the downwind leg. Sometime in the sim, this track doesn't align perfectly, so make small corrections if needed. Once on the downwind, activate the secondary flight plan with your landing runway on it. This is much easier to do in real life with two pilots in the cockpit. Always keep visual contact with the runway. Once passing a beam the threshold of the landing runway, start a timer. Fly on this track for a time equal to the circling height divided by 100 and multiplied by 3. Once that time is up, start a 25-degree turn into the runway. Maintain the altitude before you have visual with the runway. Once ready, deploy full flap, read the landing checklist, disconnect the autopilot and turn off the flight directors. Always keep in mind the wind direction and speed to compensate for it. Make small corrections and subtle inputs. Keep the bird on and use it as a reference when flying manually. Line up with the runway and descend using the PAPI lights as vertical reference. Aim for around 700 feet per minute on your vertical speed. Perform a normal landing, slow down and vacate the runway.
Don't sink.
40,
Don't sink.
30, 20, retard.
Don't sink.
Thanks for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions.